Hello and welcome. So the videos Understanding Men became very popular and I got a lot of questions. So I will have a video answering all those questions. But besides the questions, I decided to record 4 videos explaining different energies, man in different energies. So man in energy of air, man in energy of fire, man in energy of water, man in energy of earth. Now, it is very rare that a man will have only one energy, but at least if you will look at his dominant planets, you will know what you're working with. Today I'm going to talk about man energy of air. Every single energy I'm going to cover a few aspects. So the pluses of being with the man energy of air, the minuses of being with a man of particular energy, the appearance, so you can spot this particular energy outside, intimacy, obviously very important, the provider type, whether they are good providers or not, and how to impress a particular energy. Now I also will mention where to meet and how to conquer such man. But I already have a video how to conquer masculine and feminine man. I will put them in the description of this video as well. Now before I will start, I want to mention, do please watch the first 2 parts of Understanding Man. Understanding Man, feminine and masculine man, and Understanding Man, just second part, not sure what it's called, but still you will find it. I will actually, what I will do, I will put it in the description, those 2 as well. Now let's talk about man energy of air. So man energy of air and women as well. These are people that have dominant energy in Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. This is a very masculine energy, even though these people seems to be so aloof, kind of they don't really care much about anything. They're not as active as energy of fire. It's still very masculine energy. Why is it masculine? Because they are not grounded, they have visions, they are not emotional. So the main characteristic of the feminine energy is emotions, intuition, love, and this is what energy of air doesn't have. So I would even argue and say that energy of air is more masculine than energy of fire, but it's not so. Energy of fire is the most masculine one. So energy of air, despite everything, is actually masculine energy. And these are men that are very very optimistic. So their pluses are they're very optimistic, they're very light. When you speak to them, it's like you have wings, you know, you believe in everything, you can do everything. I actually had a couple friends energy of air, and I just love to connect with them because I'm talking about men. I do have friends energy of air women, and I love them also, and I do love them all for one particular reason. It's like there is no limits for them. When you speak to them, you believe that you can do anything, you know. Like before I started traveling, I was connecting with one of my friends, and he said, you know, there are a lot of aristocrats in Europe, you might as well marry a prince or something like that. I mean, the guy has no he doesn't believe that anything can limit him. When I saw him last time, he was planning to take enough loans to buy a huge multi-unit property in Miami. And I'm like, don't you have to back up those loans? I mean, me with the background in finances, I know that it's not that easy, but he's so much believing that I wouldn't be surprised that he would get all those loans. So they're very optimistic, they're very light, so nothing holds them down. They believe in everything. They are not afraid to have different kind of ideas. They do have, they laugh at themselves, they laugh at others, so they will entertain you with jokes if they're in a good mood. I mean, they're very, these people, it's just a pleasure to be around them. They're just so, they're just enjoyable, so to say. Now, they always have some kind of visions. Even those visions might not be realistic, but they still will have them, and they will believe in their visions. That's the most interesting part, that they will support their visions and they will really truly believe in them, and they would they would truly enjoy their visions. They would work on them, they would share them, like they're passionate about their visions. You know, if I have certain ideas, I probably will be maybe shy to share them with somebody. They wouldn't. Like for example, they could say, I'm going to build a spaceship and I'm going to fly to, I don't know, to the moon. And we both know that it's absurd, but he or she will believe in this so much that she will convince me that it's a great idea. And I will start packing to go to the moon with that person. So they're very faithful to their ideas, and their ideas, you know, maybe not always realistic, but you start believing. They also have a lot of, they have a very unusual way of thinking, so be used to that. They don't have just one way of thinking. They look at everything from different perspective, and that's what makes them so valuable. Now, they also have a lot of connections all over the world. They connect with people easy, they don't mind, they see the positives in people. It's very hard for them to be disappointed in somebody. You really need to get on to their last nerve for them to be disappointed in you. It's very very hard. So they have a lot of connections. I wouldn't say they have a lot of friends, but they do have a lot of connections all over the world. And these connections usually what makes them successful, because they can they need to take a loan to build a spaceship or to buy a multi-unit property, and they know who to connect who to contact, who to speak to. Like this, they're very friendly, you know. They make connections very easy, they make friends easy. It's hard to disappoint them. So, but they're not consistent in that, but still. So they are very easy to try something new. They're actually looking for this everywhere. So they love something new, they love to experiment, they love trying new things. They actually are bored with something that is the same. They like to try things that are new. They don't get upset or emotional. That's also a plus. So don't be afraid to get him upset. You can only get a man energy of air somewhat irritated if you're trying to ground him, or if you're trying to bring him to the dirty water, dirty emotion. So don't do that. But they don't get upset. You can say anything. They probably wouldn't even listen to you. They will look through you. And they're also very social, as I said. So they are not like energy of fire that's just looking for social events. Social events find them because they're so light, because they're so easy. People usually want to have them around. They always invite them. They always try to include them in some kind of event. So they're very social and they don't mind. Now, they're social but unattachable, so they can come to the party, leave the party. It's like nothing stops them, nothing holds them, kind of. Now, what are the minuses to these amazing people? Well, this person will never be completely yours, and you need to understand this, admit this, and just live with that. So this person will be with you for as long as you're not too heavy on them. But if you will set ground in them, bothering him, they will leave you. Now, also, why they're not completely yours? Because they're very social, and they have a lot of connections. So they will constantly socialize, communicate, and they will not understand why you're against it. Like I had a neighbor in Miami. She is energy of air, very energy of air, and she has a lot of connections, a lot of friends, a lot of things to do, and her husband understands this, so he just gives her the freedom to explore, and she's very faithful to him because he understands her needs, kind of, and he allows her to roam free, so to say. Well, allows, maybe but he is not against it, so to say, and she appreciates that he accepts her as she is. So then they're never completely yours. Don't assume that you can own energy of air. Look, air is around. Can you own energy of air? No, you could not. If you will stuff air into closed space, at one point it will just because air could not be put into a closed space. Now another one is it's hard for them to focus, to keep the focus. So because they're all over, they have a lot of ideas, a lot of connections. They're very social. They have their ideas change all the time. It's hard for them to keep the focus. As I said before, people energy of air could be very successful if they have either the right team or they can sell their ideas to others. But even with you, for example, you guys are planning a trip somewhere, and so he's like, well, we can go to Colorado to explore the mountains, or we can go to Bora Bora to lay on the beach, or maybe we can just go to I don't know where else, to Europe to explore the history. So because he has so many ideas, usually he would not make any kind of plans because these ideas just overwhelm. There are too many of them. So this is it's a hard thing, and you will need to understand it. So at the end, this man probably will make some kind of decision just to kind of okay, just just to get over it, and he will not be even particularly happy. So maybe at the end you guys will go to Las Vegas and spend a few days there. Another thing is they could be very even though it's hard for them to keep the focus, if they have an idea in mind, if they have a particular vision, they can be very insistent and persistent on their vision. So they will drive you crazy. For example, if he decides to be a vegetarian, right, he will just kill you with with all the pros of being a vegetarian. He will make sure that you will at least try to be a vegetarian with him. Now, in a couple months, he probably will already change his mind and start being all carnivore, kind of being on carnivore diet. But and you will be like, we just started with the vegetarian stuff. Now, what to do with all these vegetables? So, but they are very fast to change, but they will make sure that close people to them are on the same page. And if you want to be with energy of air, you have to be somewhat on their page. Okay, maybe not with food, but with other stuff you should be. So they're very persistent and insistent, and they will make sure you will get the point, and you just have to at some point agree with them. Now, also the negative one, they are not good savers because they have so many ideas, dreams. They constantly plotting something. They're here and there. Usually, the people don't have much money, and it's not because they could not make money. They actually can make a lot of money, and usually energy of air that has money, the money just come easy to them. But they don't know how to make money grow. They're not sure what to do with them. They basically, money usually a byproduct of their active social life, so to say. So, but they don't depend on man energy of air for your financial security for the future. It's not you can offer him to see a financial advisor. It would be even better than to count on him, even though he will say, I have the plan, I'm going to invest into the coins, you will see you'll become millionaires fast. He might get the money, but the thing is that he will not be consistent with this. So he will buy the coins, he will sell them without particular reason, and this is never really good when it comes to money. I'm telling you, as a person working in finances for a long time. So why they're not a good savers? Because they don't care about material stuff. I'm telling you this. Energy of air doesn't want to be grounded, and if energy of water wants to be grounded, wants to feel secure, and they struggle not having the security, energy of air just doesn't care. They believe that something will come, something will happen, and they will be provided for. Now, if this is important for you, you need to make your opinion known and respected, so to say. And another one, they need grounding. They really need grounding. You know, like sometimes you have to bring your man energy of air to earth and remind him that we're living in the material earth, that there are bills to be paid, there is food to be brought, there are kids that needs to be fed. They wouldn't mind as long as it's not constant. So you can mention it once in a while and tell him, listen, we need a solution, and he will come up with a solution. I don't know whether he will do it, but the solution he will find. But they need the grounding. They need to be reminded that outside of his grandeur plans to conquer the world, there is a small world here of you and maybe your kids and him, and your apartment or your house. So and they will be okay with you reminding them and grounding them, bringing them back to life. Like for example, he can plan to, I don't know, to buy an island and grow piglets there. It's up to him. But at this moment, you guys are on the mainland in United States, and obviously this is an expensive adventure. So it's okay. You can do that. You can kind of open their eyes. Like for example, don't hide from him that eggs are not, I don't know how much they cost now, not $3 a dozen, but maybe $4 or $5 a dozen. So okay, don't go in these details, but remind him that, listen, prices went up on groceries, I need more money for groceries. That's just it, or car insurance went up, and I think it went up really. So I need money for I need more money for the insurance, like this. The people energy of air don't need the details. They don't like it. They don't like to be grounded, but once in a while it's good to ground them. They will appreciate. And if you're not going to do this, I mean, who will? So this is the negatives. Now, their appearance. So people energy of air, as you see, you don't feel the air, right? You don't see the air. Air is not bright. Usually people energy of air are gray mice. So they're average looking men, usually are on a slender side. So as masculine men, they are on the slender side. Now they, as per their, so they really don't care much about their appearance. Unless they have particular other planets, they really don't care. So this is the man that can walk with their hair outgrown, overgrown, with their beard. These are all the IT specialists, the ones that live in their own world of fantasy and ideas. They could be very rich, very wealthy, but yet they don't understand what is that guy's name? The one that came up with Ethereum, I think, that coin. You see how long ago I was into that. But I remember I see his interview, and he was just like completely, he looked almost homeless. So what I want to say is that don't care about their appearance. It's not their prerogative, so to say. But they do, if they care about their appearance, they could be very risky in what they're wearing, how they're wearing. These are the people that would paint their hair blue. They would try different kind of haircuts, would experiment with their appearance, and they will be okay with that. So basically, they don't do anything to impress anybody. They're doing it for their own kind of, for their own, I don't know. Maybe one day they just decide, okay, now I'm a hippie, so I dress as a hippie, like this. Like they have their own agenda, their own ideas. They're a little, maybe like almost aliens, and they don't mind. They don't mind to dress differently. They have their own style. You wouldn't be able to convince them otherwise. They are not following the crowds. Usually, they are actually they could be they could set the style in their group, actually, because they are not afraid to try anything. People usually don't mind. They see it, they love it, they want to do the same thing. The only difference is people energy of air, they're very they don't care, so they can confidently wear something like that. I mean, maybe somebody else will not be able to pull it together. So how you can see them, I mean, you probably won't even notice energy of air. These people are very average looking. but they do have this air around them, and they they just, it's like they don't care. They look through you, like they're present and they're not present. It's a very particular, you will see energy of air at once. They look at you and look through you. They are never completely yours or completely in the group. They have things running through their head. As an energy, as a Reiki master, I can feel them right away. There's a people that are they're in front of you, and that they are not, like they're somewhere on another planet. It's very interesting. So now in intimacy, this energy of air is probably the best after water, energy of water. Why? Because they will do anything, they will try anything. They are not grounded to be, oh, is it good, is it bad, should I think about this, should I not think about this, should I offer, should I not offer. Like, they are very flowy when it comes to intimacy, and they don't mind. They don't want to try anything. If you tell them that you want this, and they will be like, okay, let me do it, or let me buy it or something. They're all about light, pleasure, mutual kind of pleasure. Now, it is not you could not spend with energy of air the whole day in bed. They wouldn't do that. So you can even notice, after time in bed, he would just get up and start like cleaning up an apartment or something like that, or maybe he will open his phone and start reading news. So these are not they are not consistent, and they are not going to be wasting time laying around. But in bed, they will do anything, they will try anything. They're open to suggestions. They wouldn't even mind to please you. They know they could not give you love or emotions, so they try their best to, at least in sex, be somewhat, and they enjoy it. Honestly, they enjoy being like this, like, and they are not afraid of like showing himself from a bad side, or looking like a fool or something. They do truly try anything. Now, provider type. Well, are they good providers? So they are good providers when they have, so to say. So man energy of air will provide, but it will never be their priority. So buying a house in the country will never be their priority. Now, if you tell him, okay, so I need $5,000 for the expenses, we live in this house, I need to pay expenses, he'll be like, okay, no problem. He will get you the money. You don't need, but that's basically it. Now, if you will say, well, I need to have another $3,000 for savings so we can buy a house at one point, he probably won't get you those $3,000, because that's not a priority for him. He would rather spend them on something else and invest and whatever, into some kind of crazy idea of his own again. Now, so what you should do, you should basically request your own account, have it, and just deposit money in there. So if he will give you, if you need $5,000 for your expenses, ask for $6,000, and I don't know, and just put $1,000 into some kind of a high yield growth account, and then make money on that. That you need to have something, because the energy of air doesn't care for the savings, doesn't care for security. So if it's the security is important for you, be smart and do it. Don't. Yeah, he will tell you, oh my God, you can imagine I have this amazing idea, it will make us millionaires. Probably it will at one point, but until then, it would be good to have some kind of I see an energy of air. They can become wealthy. They do have great ideas, but unless they have a good connections, they have people that will invest in them, or people that will follow up on that idea. That idea can be just an idea, and that's it. So be smart. They will give you the money. They obviously will. They are masculine men, so they do provide. It just do your research and do your investments. Don't count on him. He will invest into something risky, very risky. I'm not talking about high yield brokerage account. Okay. Now, I wrote here, request an allowance. That sounds a little 50s, 60s, but still. You should, since they don't like to be grounded, one of you has to be. And if it's you, then you must have money. Even if you have your own money, even if you are working or you have your own trust fund or you have your own kind of passive income, he still should give you money. Don't allow a masculine man to live rent-free. It's wrong. Despite all his great ideas, their responsibilities are something that will ground him. And he wouldn't mind. They wouldn't mind. I mean, he can be telling, oh my God, right now I'm working on this great project, blah, blah, blah. And you will be like, that's great, that's amazing, but look, we need to pay rent or something, or mortgage. And that's just it. I'm not talking only about, like, there are very wealthy energy of air men, and they might have, you might live in his apartment, he already paid for it, and everything is covered, but still, what came fast might go fast. So always have some kind of plan. This way you wouldn't be nagging him with your fears and your anxiety. Now, what about his spending? If you go out, he is going to pay. There's no problem in that. But he will pay to a limit. So, like, energy of fire will be showing off. Energy of fire doesn't need to impress nobody. That's probably their best quality. And so they will, if you want to order Wagyu steak or something, or a pound of caviar, you can do that, but only if you're going to eat it. So it's not to impress somebody like that. They are not going to be splurging for no reason. The same with their presents. They will spend on presents and on your ideas, on your hobbies, if it makes sense. So if you have an expense, for example, you decided to start diving, or I'm not sure, something expensive, or for example, you decided to do racing, like horseback riding or something like that, so it costs money. He will gladly support you in that, and he will gladly provide for that. He will. Now, if you will ask him for some kind of a new bag, you need to justify it. I already explained it in another video. Don't remember which one, but yeah, you need to justify it. Unless you have a big vision, he's not going to be spending money on something like that. So it has to be something justifiable. For example, this is the only one, nobody has it, I have to have it, it would really bring my status up, like this. It has to be justifiable, It's not, I'm going to show off in front of all my friends and they will be jealous. Then he will kind of feel sorry for you. Like, do you really need a bag to, to feel better than your friends? Like, this will not work. Don't also expect from him like a huge diamond or nothing like that. For them, it's, unless you will justify why it's important for you. How to impress a man like this? Leave him alone. No, but seriously, you need to have a life of your own. Energy of air love people that focus on themselves. They really admire people like that. Maybe because they're themselves like this. They just couldn't understand why somebody would sit at home and wait for his text. Like, he would despise people like this. And so you have to pretend like you have a life of your own, even if you are not doing anything. If you sitting and watching Netflix all day, justify it somehow. Energetically, you should believe that you're watching Netflix not because you're bored and your life is just stagnant, but because you're doing a research. You need to keep up with the fashion, so you have to watch new TV series. Now, another thing that will kind of win him over in the long run is you showing the emotions. Remember, energy of air doesn't have emotions. So they would appreciate a person who is not afraid to share the feelings and emotions. Now, you can be saying something like to a man like this, you know, I really love you, and he will probably will just smile, will not respond to you. But for him, it's really important. It's important for him to know that that he's grounded in you, that there are some feelings, and that he's important for you. This is in the long run. I mean, if you on the first date you will tell him I love you, the guy will very fast. You will see, because he'll, my God, she's love bombing me. She's grounding me. You putting his energy into like it's too heavy, honestly, for them at the beginning. So what else you should do? Yeah, so basically they are awkward at expressing their emotions, so you do it at least, and they will appreciate. I dated man energy of air. They will appreciate it a little differently, you know. He will try to listen to you and get you something, even if it would be an awkward kind of expression, but it still will. I remember I was dating this guy energy of air, and I was constantly telling him, you know, how I like him, how I like the time with him, and he didn't know how to reciprocate. So he basically would I remember one day he brought me this like a couple pounds of pears. I don't know why. I always was eating apples, but he brought me pears, and I'm like, what is this for? And he's like, I don't know, I thought you would like pears. I'm like, all right. I mean, they do express. So for example, I remember I was talking to one guy, and he didn't know how to impress me, how to how to interest me. So he offered me this perfume, the weird perfume. I would never even consider it, but he thought that his good gesture will put him up kind of in. It's very interesting to observe them. They are very awkward in this expressing their feelings. So you can help them. They don't mind. They don't mind if you will send him a wish list and add constantly. At least he will know what is important for you and how to get there. All right, so you need to also, I need to tell you, if you are dating a man energy of air for a long time, you need to have your own agenda and stick to it. Man energy of air as women energy of air are all over the place. They could be one day here, tomorrow they're already across the globe somewhere in, I don't know, in Japan or something. You know, they want to learn a culture of geishas or something. I mean, it is okay with them, but you need to have your own agenda and stick to it. Otherwise, you will go crazy. I'm telling you, I dated energy of air. One day they want kids, another day they don't want kids. One day they want to move in together, second day they don't want to move in together. If you will be constantly like this, I mean, for them it's okay. For me, it was very hard. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to say. I didn't like. You know, I'm energy of water mostly, so I need time to adjust. So when the guy tells me, okay, so we need to move in together, and it takes me a couple weeks to get adjusted to this idea, and then 2 weeks after I'm telling him, well, did you start looking for apartment? He's like, what apartment? I'm like, you said we need to move in together. He's like, oh really? Yeah. No, I don't think it's time. And I'm like, what? At that time I was very vulnerable, not smart. Right now that wouldn't work with me. So you need to have your own agenda. You need to see how you see your life and stick to it, at least in some core beliefs. So for example, if you know that you want to have a family and kids, no matter what man energy of air tells you about his ideas to conquer new planets and new civilizations, I mean, it's his kind of ideas. You tell him, well, I will cheer you from here, but my idea is to have kids in 5 years. That's it. That's what you tell him, and you don't let him convince you otherwise, because then you will be like a leaf on the wind, like this. You just flying around. For the wind it's good, for you're just lost basically. So you need to have some kind of agenda, especially even if you don't want to have family. Let's imagine you want to have a particular career you always dreamed about, and now you have a man energy of air, and he's like, no, just be a housewife, or let's travel with me full-time. Okay, you can do that, but you can study remotely. So don't allow him to forget who you are, because you will lose yourself and then he will lose interest into you. I guarantee you. I already went through that. So don't forget about your interest, about what you want, and stick to it. Stick to it firmly. Like you can obviously, if you were planning to live in Connecticut, have a house there, wear pearls, and and just be friends with all the neighbors, that's one thing. And he doesn't want to live in Connecticut, he wants to live in New Jersey. Fine, do that. But you can, a little negotiate here and there. But if you are convinced that you want to have a family, kids, and he's trying to convince you that it's all old-fashioned, that you guys can travel the world with the backpack, I mean, honestly, at this point, you will be just betraying yourself. So stick to your agenda and tell him, I love you, I appreciate you, I really admire you, I'm really happy to have you in my life, but but my plan is different. If he, chances are, he will stay with you as long as you're not nagging him too much. So he wouldn't mind. You can sell the idea to him and he will be grounded in this idea. So he can still save the planet, but meanwhile he can have a somewhat family with you. Again, it's only if you want him. I mean, energy of air are great, but they are not, they're probably the worst man to have family with. I mean, I'm real. I'm not going to lie. I will tell you, I had a friend, energy of air. He was not a friend particularly. He was more like an acquaintance slash customer. I was guiding him a little bit in his financial endeavors. So because I was doing this, I knew kind of his background. So he had a wife and couple kids in another country, and his wife, I guess, she knew what he was. So when he wanted to move to United States, he moved on a particular visa, something. So she knew that he will start a new job. He wanted something new in life, but they have 2 kids. So what she did, he wanted to, he had particular savings and he wanted to take it and basically invest them here in something. I'm not sure. What she did instead, she convinced him to buy a property, and the rent from that property would go to as a child support for the kids that they have. You see, she was very, she knew him, so she prepared the safety, because this is exactly what happened. And he told me that, he's like, I'm happy she convinced me, because now I don't need to worry about providing for my kids. Now I can really do whatever I want, and it's okay that I bought the property. At least I have something, something going on, and it's an income. So you don't be afraid to break his bubble and ground him sometimes. It is okay. He will understand it, even though maybe in the beginning he won't, but in the long run he will understand. Now, how else to impress him? Show your emotions, but don't dwell on your emotions. So if you're depressed, I mean, this is the easiest way to get rid of energy of air. He will try to help you, he will try to joke, he will try to be optimistic, but if you're not snapping out of that, he will be out for some time out of your life. So don't scare him. Tell him something like this, like, listen, not feeling too well, not sure what it is, help me to get out of this. And he will say, let's go do something, and then it's up to you. So like that, if you start drowning him in emotions, he will be very fast to leave. Don't do this. Don't do the mistake I did a couple of times. What is mom? All right, so how to conquer and where to meet this guy. Now, how to conquer, I already said. Pretend that your life is super busy, super interesting. You need to feel it though. You can't just say it. He will feel the fakeness. We're socializing energetically. But if you truly believe that your life is exciting, if you have some projects going on, even though your only project is to to do lives on TikTok. I mean, but still, a lot of people make a lot of money on TikTok. So if this is your life, if this is what you want to do, then be excited about it. Man, energy of air, they love that. They love people that are passionate for life, that they are very into life like that. And the way to meet. Okay, so these people are usually they're very social, so you can meet them around. You probably won't pay attention to them, because if their friends are energy of water, earth, or fire, they will be the most pale ones, kind of. But you will notice them. They're basically they're like in the group and outside of the group. They're usually quiet or making jokes like this. Where else they could be? They could be on different kind of forums, on bitcoins, on something new, some new investments like this. So these people are, they're in their own world, and you will notice them when you are in that world as well. Like energy of air that I met, I usually met through something. So it either was my work, or it was some courses I was taking, like NLP. They really love to study the mind. Or it was in the group. But again, these people are social, they're connecting with you easy, but they're not very attachable. So you will know them. If you want a man like this, you will find him. They are usually around. They are not like energy of water who is sitting at home and hiding. Okay. So, and I'm going to put how to conquer feminine and masculine man, and you can watch some extra information there. To sum it up, to sum this video up, man energy of air are masculine, very masculine, and even though they are quiet and kind of maybe a little funny, a little silly looking, so to say, they have their opinions. They're very smart usually. They're very intelligent. Not intelligent like book intelligent, but they're intelligent about something that they're passionate about. So they're smart. They don't think that energy of air is stupid, even though sometimes they come off as like this, because they goof around. They're like making fun of themselves. They are actually very smart, and you will be surprised. They notice everything. They're smart. So now, do they change their opinions? Yeah, they do change their opinions, especially Gemini, but it is what it is. Doesn't mean that they're not smart. All right, so these men are average looking usually. They don't gain a lot of weight. Usually you wouldn't see them in the gym. They are light and optimistic, but they will never completely yours, so just accept that. They will never be a father that will always follow up on their kids, that will always go to all the games. No, this is not this man. I'm sorry to say it, but this is just how it is. Don't be hard on him. Now they have their ideas. They're always plotting some kind of revolution or some kind of new innovation. Are they going to do it? No, probably they will find somebody who will do it. But in their mind, they're constantly working on something. They constantly have ideas. They want to do it. They want to socialize. It is important for them. So now, will this man cheat? Probably not, unless a woman is really as opinionated as he is, and they have the same opinion. So maybe a convenience. But usually, man energy of air, if they don't like a woman that they are with, they would just leave her and be with somebody else. They don't cheat. They too, you see, these men are very much into ideas, into something higher, something not material. And intimacy is too material, too grounded, you see, and that's not what they want. When they are with somebody, they don't mind intimacy, but it's not what turns them on, so to say. So don't you worry. If you have a man energy of air and he's never at home, don't you worry that he's cheating on you. He's probably either with his friends, or maybe sitting in the car and thinking about the next big idea, or maybe on his computer. So these are men that are living in a little different space. You know, they're unattached from the material world, and they don't want to be attached. So if you're with this man, he will need periodic grounding. So be smart about your life. Remind him, you know, don't wait for his next big idea to make your life full. Remind him that the rent is due every month and not in 20 years, and he needs to get the money now. Don't support this man. Don't spoil his because I know a man energy of air, and his talents were wasted because the woman he is with is basically supporting him. So he doesn't see much urgency to do anything, because for what? I mean, he lives in her house, she's supporting him. I mean, why would he even do nothing? So don't do this. Don't do this mistake to any man, but to man energy of air especially. You can support his ideas, his grand visions, but paying rent is a priority at this moment. And he must remember, and you must remember, that he is a man. He is not just some kind of big guru that doesn't bring money. And he will. Energy of air, when they need to, they can raise money very easy. Don't you worry about him. He will get the money, and it will be fast. This is a man that if it's dirty air, they can gamble, and they could win. They do forex exchange a lot. You know what I mean, trading, like live trading, they do it also. They do play lotto often. So these are men that are like believing in something, like they're too optimistic to say. So yeah, don't allow him, don't nag him, but don't allow him too much. So in the appearance wise, they're average looking. You probably will not notice them, or even if you notice them, you wouldn't be paying much attention to them, because they're just like blah. They don't really care about whether they impress you or not. They believe that they're impressing with their knowledge, their intellect. In intimacy, in sex, they're really good when they want to. They will provide. Just don't, as I said, don't allow them to roam free. They have to provide, and that's it. If you are with this man, he has to provide, and he will. Be smart. If he doesn't invest, you invest into something. If he invests all in the coins, you make sure that you invest in that you open IRA for him and for you, and basically just add to IRA every year. His money, obviously, not yours. Now, how to impress this man? Don't nag him. Don't show only positive emotions. Negative emotions don't. If you don't like something, tell him that, and tell him firmly, and let him think about that. Don't allow him to influence you, to put his vision on you. So if he wants to go and live on the mountains somewhere in Tibet, I mean, that's his choice, not yours. If you want to have a family, you want to have a family. And if he's if he wants to have a family with you, he will take it in consideration. Do have an interest in life, even when you are already with the man energy of air. Don't depend on him for entertaining you and for making your life interesting. It's not up to him, it's up to you, honestly. So have your own agenda and have your interest in life. Okay, that's it on man energy of air. Again, I want to remind you, there is hardly ever a person with only one energy. But I knew man energy of air when they have a lot of dominant planets in air. I knew this. I knew a Gemini that was dominant energy of air. I knew a Libra, also dominant. He had a lot of planets in Libra, and they are different. You see, Gemini, they are more into connection. They connect with everybody, who they meet and who don't meet. Even if they will be left on the island with just animals, they will start connecting with animals. And these are like this. Now, men that have a lot of placements in Libra, they want to connect on a different level. They want to connect, so there is some kind of warm connection. So because they are on the second center, Gemini is on the first center, the Libra is on the second center with the heart, and Aquarius is on the third center. They connect with people on ideas, so if Gemini just want to have good conversation with everybody, Libra want to bond with people, Aquarius want to have ideas like the other person. So remember, they are different, but they are all very similar, and they're amazing people, really amazing, but you need to ground them and hold them accountable. And if you can do that, if you can excite them and hold them accountable, they could be amazing partners. I'm telling you, as a person who's been with energy affair, I know what it is. Yeah, they are maybe not the most flashy, not the most generous, but they are very confident. They own the world, so to say. Anywhere they go, they will feel very comfortable, very confident. They are not afraid of changes. I mean, they are truly amazing people if you learn how to tolerate them, how to tolerate their differences, how to live with a person like this. And if he will tell you, no, I don't spend money on stuff like diamonds, he's just saying this. He will spend. Just have some patience. Okay, the next one will be energy of water, and I will see you in that video. Bye everybody. If you have questions, do please ask, and if you want me, you can write what is your man's main planets. I can give you a little kind of help with him. Bye.